Luke, it's MVNO time.
Yeah, it is.
Let's talk about one.
Okay.
We are doing a series,
Mm-hmm.
and we have been for, I don't know, almost 2 months now.
Yeah.
Where we will pick a random MVNO, mobile virtual network operator, and kind of do an overview, 30,000 foot look at the carrier.
Yeah.
So for those who aren't familiar, MVNO is a mobile virtual network operator.
Mm-hmm.
And these are wireless carriers that you've probably seen advertised. You've probably seen in stores.
Yep.
You might know somebody who has signed up for one. You just may not know too much about this particular one or how they work in general. So before we dive into the one in particular this time, a couple things to keep in mind with them. These are generally going to be less expensive than your tier one providers.
Yep.
So carriers like Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, for a single line plan, you might be looking at $60, $70.
Mm-hmm.
If you get into a family plan, which is where they really want to kind of get you, is to 2, 3, 4 lines.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you'll get down into the $35, $40, $50 per line.
Sure.
Where an MVNO might start you at that for just one line, or get you down as low as $30 for 2 lines, or
sure,
maybe even less expensive. So with that comes some trade-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Your tier one providers are going to give you a lot of benefits, a lot of things like international calling, dialing, roaming,
Mm-hmm.
And perks like cloud storage or a year of streaming service through a particular provider.
Right.
So these are all value-packed features,
Mm-hmm.
but for some people, they don't need those or want those. So they're happy saying, what can I get? Do I have to get this?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where an MVNO comes in. And then something else to kind of remember generally with MVNOs is that you will maybe play second fiddle when it comes to data connections and speeds. Not always, but you may encounter situations where this doesn't feel the same as it used to with my other carrier.
Sure.
Where, if you're doing streaming or mobile gaming or something like that, you may find an occasional hiccup. And the reason for that is these carriers will license the service, the towers, from the big players. But those big players they take precedence. So when things get a little congested or busy, peak times, they're kind of given the fast pass to that data.
Yeah. Their subscribers, their customers get first pick on the connection.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, though, that's not an issue.
Right. If you spend a lot of time on Wi-Fi,
Mm-hmm.
that's a non-starter.
Yep.
And if you're out there, you're not downloading 4K video and doing a lot of gaming, streaming audio has never really been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Getting things knocked down from a 5G to maybe a slower 4G speed.
Right.
For some people, it's negligible.
Right.
It's almost like you don't know it unless we bring it up. And
usually we're talking that these hiccups happen in major areas of congestions, big cities, high peak times, stuff like, Christmas or New Year's Eve in Times Square, things like that where everybody's using their phone.
Everybody's celebrating the fact that your team just won the championship.
Sure.
Something like that.
So there's a chance with an MVNO that those things might happen, but generally they don't. And that's why we're doing this series, is because MVNOs generally, as you're watching this, if you're looking for another option for your wireless service, MVNOs usually fill a void very easily. And the reason they do that, like you said, is you pay for what you use or what you need versus paying one price and getting all these extra perks that maybe you don't even need or want.
Yep.
So
let's talk about one in particular.
Okay.
Today we will discuss Reach Mobile.
Yeah.
And what some of the features are, or some of the benefits, maybe drawbacks, whatever, how it is for you.
Sure.
About Reach Mobile. So 7 things to know about them.
Yep.
This isn't everything you're going to need to know.
Sure.
But it'll put you in the right direction. So Reach Mobile uses somebody's towers.
Yeah.
Which carrier do they use?
So they have agreements with Verizon to use Verizon's nationwide coverage.
Mm-hmm. So that means, theoretically, that if you have a Verizon phone or a phone that is compatible with Verizon, can you bring it to Reach Mobile?
You can. So what they say is if you have a unlocked 4G phone that uses Verizon or is unlocked, you should have no problem using their service. And much like every other MVNO, Reach on their website has a little spot where you can put in your IMEI, which is your phone identifying number, and it will tell you whether or not that phone will work on their service.
Right. Now, if you do that and you find out that your phone is not compatible, are you able to buy a phone from Reach?
Yeah. So they offer phones for purchase, or they have a trade-in service. So if you have your phone and it happens to not work, you can trade it in and they'll give you money towards a phone that you can buy outright, or they have deals with kind of a purchase service, so you can make monthly payments on it. So it's not through Reach, but things like Phobio or Access, these companies that you basically just set up a payment plan.
Okay. What, in terms of rate plans, what are we looking at, generally speaking?
Yeah, so plans, you pay for what you use. So the plans include unlimited talk and text, but where the price differentiation comes from is their data. So if you use the plans start for one line is $20 for 2 gigabytes of data.
Okay.
So you let's say you use all of that 2 gigs, you still have data. So technically all the plans include unlimited data.
Okay.
But 2 gigs of the high speed data for $20. And if you go over that 2 gigs, you're going to get a lower speed data, which probably won't be HD video, probably not going to be able to download things to your mobile device, things like that. And that's for the $20. And then they go all the way up to completely unlimited is $45 a month.
Okay.
And that 45 now, so completely unlimited, there's still an asterisk to that. That's 25 gigs of data. The reason they say unlimited is because generally people are not using 25 gigs of mobile data.
Yeah.
We have Wi-Fi normally at our house. We have Wi-Fi other places normally where you work has Wi-Fi. But if you do a lot of things on your phone where you're downloading a lot of things or sending files or something like that, 25 gigs of high speed, you're going to have no problem for the month.
Right.
For shared lines, if you go up, you can share that 2 gigs, starts at $35. If you go up from there to the 25, the unlimited, you're going to be going up to, go back to that one there. Yeah, 2 lines. So is 45 still per line. So you're really not getting much of a discount on the unlimited plan. Those generally, no matter how many lines you go up, really stay about $45 per line. But if you're doing a tiered data package, 2 gigs, 5 gigs, 10 gigs, 15 gigs, the more lines you add, the cheaper that price per line is going to be.
And that's something to consider if you're a family and you have maybe children getting their first taste of smartphones and understanding how to use them, and social media, video, music, and how they balance that and use that data. That's where if you go with like a 2 gigabyte plan or 5 gigabyte, it does, then you run into the idea of kind of throttling and setting management of data and having, educational, that's conversations you can have around that. Yeah. Versus saying, hey, let's just put everybody on the unlimited plan.
Yeah. Unlimited is a set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Right. But you might be paying a lot more per month or over the course of a year than you really need to. And it's not too hard to check your data as you go to really look back and say, okay, what do I average use in a month?
Right.
What would that look like? What does my son use? What does my daughter use? Okay, we might be able to get away with 15 gigs shared between all of us.
Right. A couple more questions.
Mhm.
Wrap up here. With the data plans,
Mhm.
we talk about them. There's a lot of talk about 5G.
Yeah,
Do Reach mobile plans include 5G?
they do. Yep, nationwide 5G. Again, they use the Verizon network, so anywhere there's the Verizon signal, you're going to have 5G through Reach.
All right. Now, if I have questions,
Mhm.
concerns, if I
Yeah.
need to get in touch with somebody at Reach,
Yeah.
can I go to a Reach store?
No. So it's online only.
Mhm.
And that's the case with most MVNOs.
Yeah.
We see, there's a couple of them that have a retail locations. Some of them have, help inside other bigger box stores or something like that occasionally. But with Reach in particular, you're going to be online support only, whether that's through their website chat, through, contact email or phone numbers.
Mhm. And that really helps bring the cost down
Absolutely.
for a lot
Yep.
of these carriers.
Mhm.
So you're not paying for the brick and mortar
Right.
and the staff.
Right.
But when you look at the reviews for a lot of these MVNOs, their customer service is just as good,
Yeah.
score-wise, as you'll find with other
Yep.
providers. I think that's it, except for one last question. Are there any special deals if I'm looking to go to Reach?
So usually where you'll see the deals for Reach is on different devices. So
Okay.
as a new phone comes out, maybe the older model be discounted. Maybe a new model might be discounted at a promotional period.
Mhm.
But generally, you're going to get the deals on the phones, the handsets themselves. You're not really going to see a deal on the monthly service,
Sure.
other than the more lines you add, the cheaper per line it's going to be for a shared data package.
Gotcha.
So
that's Reach Mobile.
Mhm.
You can go to reachmobile.com to learn more about them. Again, this isn't everything you need to know about them.
Nope.
You can find out more, dive into a couple more things. But if you are a Verizon subscriber and are considering making a change, and inflation's a real thing, and pinching pennies is not something to laugh about.
Sure.
You're trying to save a couple bucks, and
Yep.
MVNO might be a good way to go. And this is a good one for Verizon subscribers.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching.
Thank you.